Mangaroos Tutoring Services, Mathematics Classes.
Area and the perimeter. For the SA level, we will focus on the area and perimeter of squares, rectangles, and triangles. However, at the moment, the area of the triangle is not tested. For a square, the perimeter of the square is 4 times its side, and the area is side multiplied by side. Of course, for a square, all the sides will be equal. For a rectangle, the perimeter is the sum of all the sides, which will be 2 of its length plus 2 of its width or breadth. So you can say length plus breadth, or we can say 2 times the length plus the breadth, or the length plus the breadth times 2. The area of the rectangle is the length times the breadth. And the triangle, the perimeter, is the sum of all its sides, and the area is half divided by 2 means half of the base times the perpendicular height. So let's take a look at a few questions. I will do a few for you, and then you can pause the video, attempt some of them, and then we'll look at the solutions. So as we can see, this is a rectangle. So if this side is 12, then this side will also be 12. So 12 plus 12 is 24. 5 plus 5 is 10. So 24 plus 10 is 34. So the perimeter is 34 centimeters. For a square, we add all the sides, so 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. Or we can say 6 times 4, which is 24. Side times 4. And then we have a triangle. So we can see that by these dashes, it indicates that this is an isosceles triangle. So this side will be equal to this side in length. So this is 3 and this is 3. So you can simply add 3 plus 3 plus 9. We also have an equilateral triangle. We know that this is an equilateral triangle because there are short dashes on all of the sides, indicating that all of the sides are equal. If all of the angles were equal, we will also know that this is an equilateral triangle. Similarly, for an isosceles triangle, if this angle is equal to this angle, or any two angles are equal, then the corresponding sides will also be equal. So attempt these questions, and then we will unpause the video and we will look at the solutions. Here are the solutions for numbers 1 to 9. Remember to put your units. For perimeter, we don't put the square, we simply put the units, whether it be centimeters or meters or millimeters or kilometers. Next, find the perimeter of the square and rectangles. So these are similar. So you can go ahead and attempt these now. Now we will take a look at the solutions. The second question, we have a decimal point. The answer is 21.6 centimeters. Similarly, for number 3. 15.5 multiplied by 2 is 31 centimeters. Here we have some area questions. So I hope that you took down the formula for area. You can pause the video now and attempt these questions. Okay, let's take a look at number 1. What is the area of a square? The area of a square is side times side, or side squared. The side is 4, so 4 squared is 16 centimeters squared. So your area for number 1 will be 16 centimeters squared. You put a square sign above the unit. Number 2, we have a rectangle. What is the area of a rectangle? The area of a rectangle is length times width, or length times breadth. In this case, that would be the longer side is 8, so that's the length, multiplied by the breadth, which is 3. So that will be 24 centimeters squared. Sorry, that's meters. So that's 24 meters squared. So I will leave you to do number 3. Let's take a look at this second exercise. Calculate the length of the side given the area. So we are given the area. We know that the area is side squared. So the side will actually be equal to the square root of the area. So if you didn't know that, you can take down that formula now, pause the video and attempt these questions. So for number 1, the area will be square root of 144, which will be 12 centimeters. Since it's one side, we just use centimeters, not centimeters squared. So when you are finished attempting these, you can pause the video, unpause the video, and then we will go on to the solutions. Okay, so let's take a look at these 3 questions. You can pause the video, and instead of simply finding the area, you can find the area and the perimeter. Okay, so now we will go through the solutions. We will start with the perimeter. Perimeter is simply the distance around the edge of the shape. 17 plus 17 is 34. 4 plus 4 is 8. 34 plus 8 is 42. So that's 42 centimeters. The area will be the length times the width. 17 times 4 is 68 centimeters squared. Number 2, the perimeter is 4 times the side, which is 22 times 4, which is 88 meters squared. The area will be side times side, which is 22 times 22, which will be equal to 484 meters squared. And lastly, 6.3 plus 6.3 is 12.6 plus 3 plus 3. That will be 18.6 centimeters. And the area will be 6.3 multiplied by 3, which will give us 18.9 centimeters squared. Next, we have area and perimeter weighted problems. Again, you can pause the video and attempt the questions if you are able to do so. Number 1, the shape below has sides that are equal. What is the perimeter of the shape? So that will be 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, or 12 times 4, which is equal to 48 centimeters. Number 2, the perimeter of a square is 48 centimeters. What is the length of one side? So what we do know is that the perimeter of a square is equal to 4 times the side. We also know, or we can deduce, that the side is equal to the perimeter divided by 4, which we know is 48. So 48 divided by 4, and this will give us 12. So your answer is 12 centimeters. Number 3, a rectangle has a length of 36 centimeters and a perimeter of 96 centimeters. What is the width of the rectangle? We are given the length 36 centimeters. We can multiply that by 2, because every rectangle will have 2 lengths, and we will get 72. We can take away 72 from the perimeter, and we will get 24, and 24 will be the remaining side, which is the 2 widths. Right, so we can divide 24 by 2, and we will get 1 of the width, which is 12 centimeters. Right, we can look at it a little bit more detailed. We know that the formula is perimeter is equal to 2 width plus 2 length, or 2 multiplied by the width plus the length. So we are given the perimeter is 96. We know that the length is 36. So we are going to work backwards, so we can divide by 2, because here we have multiply by 2. And then here we have plus 36, so we are going to minus 36. 96 divided by 2 is 48. 48 minus 36 is 12, and so 12 is your width. Number 4, find the perimeter of the following shapes. So that's easy. We did a couple of questions like that. 5 plus 6 plus 5 plus 6, or 5 times 2, 10, plus 6 times 2, 12. 10 plus 12 is 22 centimeters. Next, we have a square. The perimeter of a square is 4 times the side. 4 times 25 is 100. So that's 100 meters. Here we have a few more questions. You can feel free to attempt these questions before looking at the solutions. Number 6 is similar to number 3. You can feel free to review number 3 before trying number 6. We know what the formula for the perimeter is, so we can simply work backwards to get the width. So let's do the same for number 6. We are given the perimeter, and we are given the length, and we must find the width. The formula for the width, given the perimeter and the length, width is equal to perimeter divided by 2 minus the length. And we know that the perimeter is equal to 54 meters. 54 divided by 2 minus 14. 54 divided by 2 is 27. So that's 27 minus 14, which is 13. So your width is 13 meters. Right, so you can take this down now. That's for number 6. Number 7. The length of a rectangle is twice the width. If the perimeter is 72 centimeters, find the length and the width. So for most students, this is a challenging question. This is the first time we are encountering this question in this worksheet. So we'll definitely work through this. So let's shift this triangle. So we can make some space right here. Right, so number 7. The perimeter is 72 centimeters, so let's just put that here so we don't have to go back. And they said that the length is equal to 2 times the width. Right? So that is not part of the working, that is just the information given. So what we will do is, we will use the width. Since the width is less than the length, we will use the width, or write the width as a box. So if the width is 1 box, the length will be twice as much, which is 2 boxes. So we will now write the perimeter in terms of boxes. So the perimeter will be 2 lengths plus 2 widths. So that will be, the length is 2 boxes, so that will be 2 times the length. Okay, let's write that first. 2 times the length plus the width. Right? Or 2 length plus 2 width. So let's put that in terms of boxes. The perimeter is equal to, so we will use this one here. 2 of the length, so the length is 2 boxes, as we can see here. The 2 of the length will be 4 boxes. And the width is 1 box. So 2 of the width will be box plus box, which is 2 boxes. So the perimeter is a total of 6 boxes. And we are given a perimeter of 72. So 72 is equal to 6 boxes, or 6 times box. So in order to find 1 box, we can say 72 divided by 6 is equal to 1 box. Right, when you work this out, we'll get 12. And we know that the width is equal to box, so therefore the width is equal to 12. And this is centimeters. So if the width is 12, we know that the length is 2 boxes. So that will be 12 times 2, which is 24 centimeters. Right, you can pause the video and take this down if you need to. Okay, let's take a look at number 10. Number 10 talks about an equilateral triangle. For an equilateral triangle, we know that all the sides are equal or the same. We know that a triangle has 3 sides. So the perimeter will be the sum of the 3 sides. So the perimeter of the triangle is equal, with the equilateral triangle, will be 3 times the side, which will be equal to 69, and that's 69 centimeters. Right, number 8 and number 11 is fairly simple, so we'll skip that for now. Number 12. Find the length of the side of the isosceles triangle marked X if the perimeter is 46 centimeters and the longest side is 18 centimeters. From the dashes here, we can tell that the 2 sides here are equal. They also told us that it is an isosceles triangle. So if this is X, then this side will also be X, or will also be equal. So the perimeter, well, you can attempt the question first if you like, and then we can proceed to do solutions. Okay, that's correct. So the perimeter, which is equal to 46, is comprised of the 2 x's and the 18. So we can start by subtracting the 18 from the perimeter, and we will remain with the 2x. 46 minus 18, that will be 28. 28 is equal to 2x, or 2 times x. So x will be 28 divided by 2. So x will be equal to 14 centimeters. And that is your answer. Number 6. Number 6 is easy, so you can go ahead and try this question now. Okay, that's correct. We are given the perimeter, and we have all the sides except for the base. So we have to find the base, x. So we can simply add the sides or the other lengths and then subtract it from the perimeter. 4 plus 6 is 10. That's 10 and 10 is 20. Plus 6 is 26. 41 minus 26 is 15. So x is equal to 15 centimeters. Simple. Here we have a new exercise with some different types of questions. So number 1, the area of a square garden is 100 meters. Find the length of each side of the garden. And B, find the perimeter of the garden. So we had questions similar to this, similar to part A, but part B is new. So let's just reflect on what we did before. So we had these questions where we were given the area and we had to find the length of the side. So we know, for example, a square, the area is equal to side squared, and we also spoke about the fact that the side is equal to the square root of the area. So we can apply that to the question. So once we are given the side, we know that the perimeter of a square is 4 times the side. So it really comes like 2 questions combined, or 2 of the more basic questions combined. Or we can say a multi-step question or a 2-step question. Okay, so let's return to the question. So again, remember, you can try these questions before I attempt them. So let's go through number 1. Let me just shift this shape to the side. So we can have some space here. So the side of a square is equal to the square root of the area, which we are given as 100. So the square root of 100 is equal to 10. So that's 10 meters. So that will be your answer for part A. Answer equal 10 meters. And then B, they want us to find the perimeter. How do we find the perimeter of a square? Simple. Multiply it by 4. Side times 4. Which is equal to 10 times 4, which is 40 meters. So your answer is 40 meters. Right, so you are definitely equipped to do number 2. Number 2 is similar. So I'd like you to attempt that before you see the answers. And also number 3. Actually, no, number 2 is a little bit different. So now we are given the perimeter and we must find the area. So let's do that. Given the perimeter, we should find the length of one side and then we can find the area. So number 2, let's proceed by finding the side given the perimeter. So if we are given the perimeter, the length of the side is equal to perimeter divided by 4, which in this case is 64 divided by 4, which is 16 centimeters. How do we find the area given the side? Well, that's simple. Area is side squared, which is 16 squared. So let's check that. Give me a moment to do that. Right, so that's 256. Centimeters squared. So your answer is 256 centimeters squared. Right, so now that we have number 1 and number 2, you are definitely equipped to do number 3. Even number 4. So let's take a look at number 3. So the side is the square root of the area, which is 8 centimeters. And then the perimeter will be side times 4, which is 8 times 4 is 32 centimeters. Number 4. The area of a rectangular yard is 112 meters. If the width is 8 meters, what is the length? So let's minimize this working here so we can create some more space. Okay, number 4, the area is 112 and the width is 8. What is the formula for the area of a rectangle? We should know that from doing previous questions. So the area of a rectangle is the length times the width. So some number times 8 gave us 112. So 112 is equal to length times 8. So the length will be 112 divided by 8. Who can tell me what that is? When we divide this, we will get 14. So your answer is 14 meters. Right, so number 5 is similar to number 4 with an additional part where we must use the length then, or rather use the width and the length to determine the perimeter. Let's take a look at these two questions. As usual, you can pause the video and try them yourself. Number 1. A square and a rectangle are drawn on the 2 centimeter grid below. What is the difference in their perimeters? So here we can see that each block is 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So it means that this will be, the rectangle would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 centimeters. So let's label that. And the width of the rectangle is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 centimeters. The square, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And let's double check, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's 10 centimeters. So we need to determine the perimeter for each shape. So that's 16 plus 16 plus 12 plus 12. 8 and 8, that's 16. So that's 56. The perimeter of the rectangle is 56 centimeters. And the square, 4 times the side, will give us 4 tens are 40. What is the difference? Okay, so that's simple. 56, take away 40. That will be 16, so your answer is 16 centimeters. Number 2, the diagram below shows a bird house built on a lake which surrounds it. How much greater is the distance around the birdhouse compared to the distance around the pond? Okay, so let's take a closer look. So what is different about this question is that we have some of the units in centimeters and some of them in meters. So I will always advise that we convert the units to the smaller unit. So if you have centimeters and you have meters, 1 centimeter is less than 1 meter, so we can convert the meters to centimeters. How do we convert meters to centimeters? let me just remind you, meters to centimeters, we multiply by 100, which means to shift the decimal point 2 places to the right. So in the case of 0.12, we will shift the decimal point 2 places to the right. So 0.12 meters is equal to 12 centimeters. And likewise, 0.13 meters who can tell me what that will be? Yes, 13 centimeters. Good. So now we can work out the question better. So let's determine when they are talking about distance around, they are talking about perimeter. So let's calculate the perimeter of the pond and the perimeter of the lake, or birdhouse rather. Okay, so let's start with the pond. The perimeter of the pond is equal to 2 times the width, which is 4, plus the length, which is 12. 4 plus 12 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. And the birdhouse will be 15 and 13. Right, 2 times the length, or rather the width plus the length. That will be 2 times 13 plus 15 is 28. 28 times 2 is 56. How much greater is the distance around the birdhouse compared to the distance around the pond? So that's a simple subtraction. 56 minus 32. 24 centimeters. So your answer is 24 centimeters. Let's take a look at number 2 and number 3. These are tile questions. How many tiles can fit in a particular area? Let's go through the solutions. Number 2. Ms. Peters wants to tile her square gallery floor and wants to use tiles 20 centimeters square. How many tiles will she use? So we are seeing that the square floor is given in meters, so that's 4 meters by 4 meters. And the tile is given in centimeters, 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. So it's best to have all the units the same so we can convert the meters to centimeters, the bigger unit to the smaller unit. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So 4 meters will be equal to 400 centimeters. So 400 centimeters by 400 centimeters will give us the area of the floor, and that will be 168,000. So we need to divide this entire area, 160,000, by the area of one tile to determine how many tiles can fit in this area. So what is the area of one of the tiles? 20 times 20, and that will give us 400 centimeters squared. So we basically need to divide the area of the floor by the area of a tile. So we can cancel 2 of the n zeros below with 2 of the n zeros on top. 4 into 4 is 1. 4 into 16 is 4. So your answer is 400 tiles. Right, so I will go over to the solutions. You can take your time and go through this. Ensure that you understand it, and then we can attempt number 3. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 is very similar. Instead of a square floor, we simply have a rectangular floor. How many square tiles can fit into a rectangle below? So we must determine the area of the rectangular floor, and we must divide that by the area of a square tile, 2 centimeters by 2 centimeters, to determine how many tiles can fit in the area. So firstly, we should determine the area of the floor and the area of the tile. So we have the area of the floor, which is length times breadth for a rectangle. 14 times 20 is 280. The area of the square tile, area of a square is side times side, or side squared, which is 2 times 2 is 4. And then we can divide the area of the floor divided by the area of the tile, which is 280 divided by 4, which will give us 70 tiles. Calculate the area of the shapes below. You can pause the video now and attempt these. For those who are unable to do that, I will demonstrate A, and then you will try B. So the first thing we should do is count the number of blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. These two halves will make 1, so that's 19. These two will make 1, that's 20. These two will make 1, that's 21. So that's 21 times the area of one of the blocks, which was given to be 4 meters squared. So 21 times 4, and that will give us 84, sorry, not centimeters, but meters, 84 meters squared. Right, so you all can proceed to doing part B. When you are ready, you can unpause the video. Okay, let's take a look at B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 multiplied by the area of one block. Here we can see that one side is 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. So the area of one of the, or each block, is 9 centimeters squared. So 12 times 9 is equal to 108, so that's 108 centimeters squared. Next we have, in the box provided, fit a square and a rectangle, each of area 36 meters squared. Ensure that the shapes don't overlap or touch the borders of the box. So for the square, it's easy because we know that for a square to have an area of 36 centimeters, the side must be 6. Good. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that will give us our square. Right, next we have a rectangle. Now there are different ways we can get 36 meters for a rectangle. We can say 2 times 18, we can say 3 times 12, we can say 4 times 9. But we need to ensure that that shape would fit into this box. So we don't want a length that is too long. So by trial and error, you will realize that it's only the 4 by 9, 4 9s are 36 that can fit. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your two shapes, your square and your rectangle. Let's take a look at an example. The perimeter of a rectangle is 66 centimeters. The width is half of the length. What is the area of the rectangle? So that's a lot to digest. So we are given a perimeter. The width is half of the length. So we must first determine the width and the length, and then we can determine the area. So we can start by making a sketch. Width and length. Right, so let's take a look at what we did here. So instead of putting the length, we use 2w because the length is twice the width. So we can replace L with 2w. So the perimeter will comprise of 2 w's and then 2 w's here and 2 w's here. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 w's. And we know that this is equal to 66. So 6 w's is equal to 66. So w, or the width, is equal to 66 divided by 6, which is equal to 11. So what is the length? We know that they told us before. The width is half of the length, or in other words, the length is twice as much as the width. That's another way we can state the same information. Okay, so now that we have the length and we have the width, we can find the area, which is length times width. And when we work out 22 times 11, we will get 242. Right, so you can use this example, follow the method, and try question 4. Take a few minutes, pause the video, and then unpause it when you are ready for the solution. Okay, let's begin. Question 4. The perimeter of a rectangle is 48 centimeters. The width is half of the length. So we see that we have the same ratio of the side. what is the area of the rectangle. So we can do the same thing. We can make a sketch. We can use W for the width. Since the width is half of the length, then the length is twice the width. Since I put in length, we will put 2 times the width, or 2 widths. So the perimeter is equal to the distance around, which is W, plus W, plus 2W, plus 2W, which is equal to 6Ws. So they told us that the perimeter is 48, right? So 6Ws is equal to 48. So 1W will be equal to 48 divided by 6. 6 into 6 is 1, and 6 into 48 is 8. So the width is 8 centimeters. The width is half of the length, or in other words, the length is equal to twice the width, which is equal to 2 times 8, which is 16. So now that we have the length and the width, we can determine the area. So the area of a rectangle is length times width, which is equal to 8 times 16, and that is 128 centimeters squared. Let's take a look at example 5. So there's another way we can do this type of question. The area of a rectangle is 48 meters squared. The length of the rectangle is thrice or 3 times the width. What is the length of the rectangle? So we can use a method called trial and error, where you basically try numbers to get the answer. So we know that the width must be, or rather let's say the length must be 3 times the width. So if the width is 2, then the length must be 2 times 3, which is 6. If we multiply that, 2 times 6 is 12. We didn't get 48, so it's not 2 and 6. So we try different numbers. We try 3. If the width is 3, then the length will be 3 times 3 is 9. When we multiply width times length to get the area, we got 27, and that's not the answer. And we try until we get the answer, 4. 3 times 4 is 12. And when we multiply the width times the length, we will get 48, which is what was given, so that is correct. Right, so we try different numbers for the width and the length until we get the area. So question 5 is similar, so let's try question 5. You can pause the video, and then when you are finished, you can unpause the video. Okay, so question 5 is similar. The area of a rectangle is 75 meters squared. The length of the rectangle is thrice or 3 times the width. What is the length of the rectangle? So we can try numbers that when we multiply it, we will get 75. We can try 3 times 25. We can try 5 times 15. Those are two popular ones. Right, already we can see that 5 times 15 will give you 75, and 15 is also 3 times as much as 5. Here we have some simple triangle perimeter questions. You can feel free to pause the video and attempt these. Example 1. The perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 48 meters. What is the length of one of the sides? So we know that an equilateral triangle, all the sides are equal. So the perimeter, which is 48, is equal to 3 times the length of the side. So one side will be equal to 48 divided by 3, which is 16. So that's 16 meters. Example 3. In an isosceles triangle, the shortest side is 13 centimeters. If the perimeter is 47 centimeters, what is the length of another side? This means that the other two sides are equal. So let's make a sketch. So if this side is 13, the other two sides will be equal. So let's call those sides x, since they are both the same. So the perimeter was given to be 47, which is equal to 13 plus x, which is 2x. So if we take away one of the sides, 47, take away 13, we will get 34. So that means the perimeter, which is 47, take away 13, 34. 34 is equal to 2x. So 34 will give you the sum of the other two sides. 34 divided by 2, that will give us 17. So x is 17. So the other side, or the other side, is 17 centimeters. Example 4. In an isosceles triangle, the equal sides are 19 centimeters. The perimeter of the triangle is 50 centimeters. What is the length of the shortest side? So the perimeter, which is 50 centimeters, comprised of the two equal sides, which is 19 plus 19, and then the other side, which we will call x, since we don't know what is the length of it. So that means that 50 is equal to 19 plus 19 is 38 plus x. 50 take away 38, that is equal to 12, and that is what x is. X is equal to 12. And lastly, we have example 5. Side A is 2 centimeters less than side B, and side C is 3 centimeters more than side B. What is the length of side B if the perimeter is 43 centimeters? So if you are familiar with my unequal sharing video, we can solve this using that same method. We first need to decide which side is the shortest. We can see from the information that A is the shortest. So A will be used as the unknown or box. B, let's see. A is 2 centimeters less than side B, which means that B is 2 centimeters more than side A. So that is box plus 2. And then C is 3 centimeters more than side B. So we need to write side B again, which is box plus 2. And they said that C is 3 more than B, so we must add 3. So if we add all of these together, we will get the perimeter. So let's add them together. The total is equal to A plus B plus C which is box plus B is box plus 2 and C is box plus 2 plus 3. So if we add the boxes together, we will get 1, 2, 3 boxes. So the total, which is 43, is equal to 3 boxes, or 3 times box, plus 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So that's 3 boxes plus 7. Now we cannot add the boxes and the numbers together as one. We can't say 3 boxes plus 2 is 5. We can't do that. So let's continue. 43 is equal to 3 boxes plus 7. So if we take away the 7, we remain with just the 3 boxes. 43 take away 7 is 36. So 36 is equal to the 3 boxes. 36 divided by 3 will give us the value of 1 box. And this will be 12. So that's 12 centimeters. What is the length of the side B? So B will be 12 plus 2, which is 14 centimeters. Here we have some perimeter questions using polygons and using a grid. Note briefly, use the grid on the next page to complete the question. So here we are given a triangle. This is an isosceles right angle triangle. And the question says, use the triangle above as many times as needed Label the length of the sides and the right angle in your drawings. A. Join 2 of the triangles to make a square. Join 4 of the triangles to create a square. Join 2 of the triangles to make an isosceles triangle. Join 4 of the triangles to form a rectangle. And E. Use 2 of the triangles to make a parallelogram. So let's see how we can do that. Now, of course, we can turn or orient the triangle however we need to. And we can use as many of the triangles as we need to. So the first question tells us to make a square using 2 of the triangles. So let's do that. So here I have a few triangles drawn already. We can add this triangle to make a square. So that will be A. B tells us use 4 of the triangles to create a square. So if I take this triangle and I put it on the left, here we have a square. Yeah. So that is B. Then C, join 2 of the triangles to make an isosceles triangle. So we can do that by simply moving this triangle here. This side is equal to this side, and this side is longer, so it's an isosceles triangle. Next, we have part D, join 4 of the triangles to form a rectangle. So we can simply combine 2 squares to make a rectangle. So if we join these 2 to make the square again, and we do the same thing with these, and then we join the 2 squares, we will get a rectangle. And lastly, use 2 of the triangles to make a parallelogram. So if we move this triangle here, we will get a parallelogram. Or if we move this one here, we will also get a parallelogram. Area and perimeter of inner and outer rectangles. So these would be for questions such as a pond, a fence around a pond, a pool, and those kind of questions. So let's take a look at 2 examples. Example 1. Calculate the perimeter of the outer rectangle. So what we are given is the dimensions of the inner rectangle. So 15 meters by 10 meters means that the length is 15 and the width is 10. So we have to use this to determine the length of the outer rectangle and the width of the inner rectangle. So let's see what other information do we have. We know that this is 15, we know that this is 1, and we know that this is 1. So we can simply add 15 plus 1 to get this length here. So that's 15 plus 2 is 17 meters. So the length of the outer rectangle is 17 meters. And similarly, the inner rectangle has a width of 10 meters. So this 10 meters plus this 2, that's 12 plus 2 is 14. So the width of the outer rectangle is 14 meters. So now that we have the length and the width, we can determine the perimeter. So 14 plus 14 plus 17 plus 17. 2 17s are 34 and 2 14s are 28. When we add these together, 17 and 14 is 31. 2 times 31 is 62. So let's take a look at example 2. Calculate the length and width of the inner rectangle. So now we are given dimensions for the outer rectangle, and we have to determine the length and width of the inner rectangle. So here we can see that the outer rectangle has a length of 24 meters. So if we come in 2 meters here and we come in 4 meters here, we'll be able to determine the length here. So that would be 24 minus 2 plus 4 is 6. 24 minus 6 is 18. So this here will be 18. And the width of the outer rectangle is 16. So if we take away 3 and 5, 3 plus 5 is 8. 8. 16 take away 8 will give you this part here, which is 8. 16 take away 8 is 8. So we know that this is 18 and we know that this is 8. So 18 plus 8 plus 18 plus 8 will give you the perimeter. Or for this one, they only wanted the length and the width. So we already determined that. So let's take a look at 2 questions. Oh, this one we have area. So let's take a look at the area question. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay, let's see if we find questions resembling the examples that we did first. Right, good. What is the perimeter of the outer rectangle? So you all can go ahead and try these questions. Pause the video and attempt these. Okay, that's correct. What is the perimeter of the outer rectangle? So we have a border of width 2 meters going all around. So if this is 18 meters by 9 meters, then 18 plus 2 plus 2, that's 18 plus 4 will give you 22. And similarly, 9 plus 2 plus 2, that's 9 plus 4, will give you 13. So that's 22 meters and 13 meters. So we know that perimeter is 2 times the length plus the width. So that's 2 times 22 plus 13, which is 2 times 35, which is 17 meters. Second question. Find the length and width of the inner rectangle. So what we have is dimensions for the outer rectangle, 20 and 14, and then we have the width of the border going around. So 14, take away 3 and take away 5, that's 14, take away 8, will give us 6, and 20, take away 4 and 2, that's 20, take away 6, will give us 14. So the length is 14 and the width is 6. So good, we have solved that. But these 2 questions are similar, so I won't go through these in fine details. Instead, I'll leave it here so that you can go through it and make any corrections necessary. Feel free to pause the video and read through the solution. Let's take a look at an area question where we have to find a shaded region between 2 rectangles. So we are given the outer rectangle's dimension. So we have the width and we have the length. We also have the border width, 4 meters and 3 meters. So So we can assume that this is 3 meters and this is also 4 meters, since it wasn't given. So we need to determine the length of the inner rectangle and the width of the inner rectangle. So we just worked on that, so that shouldn't be difficult. So from 19 we have to take away 4 and 4. So 19 take away 8 will leave us with 11. And 25, if we take away the width of the border, that will be 3 plus 3 is 6. 25 take away 6 is 19. So all we need to do is find the area of this piece and subtract it from the area of the entire rectangle. And if we do that, then we'll get this area here, the area of the border, or the shaded area. So let's do that. Let's do 19 multiplied by 25 to get the outer area. 19 times 25 is 475 meters squared. Area of the inner rectangle will be 19 times 11, which is 209 meters squared. And then we subtract the inner area from the outer area, and we will get 266 meters squared, and that is your answer. So the second part of the question asks us to determine how many square tiles with a side of 1 meter will be needed to fit into the shaded region. So basically we are going to fill this area with tiles. Yes. Okay, so let's see. What is the area of a square tile? The tile is 1 meter by 1 meter. 1 times 1 is 1, so that's 1 meter squared. And the area that we need to tile is 266 meters squared. So we divide the total area by the area of one tile to get how many tiles. So let's add that in for clarity. Okay, so now that we did that example, let us try the question. So pause the video and attempt this. Okay, let's solve. So the outer area will be 15 meters by 40 meters. That's length times width. 15 times 40. 15 fours are 60. So that's 600 centimeters squared. And the inner area, we need to determine the inner length, which is 40 take away 5 and 5. So that's 40 take away a total of 10, which leaves us with 30. And this way, 15 take away 5 and 5. So that's 15 take away 10, will leave us with 5. So that's 5 by 30. 30 times 5 is 150. So the shaded area will be the outer area minus the inner area, which is 600 take away 150. which gives us 450 centimeters squared. And again, to determine how many tiles will fit in an area, we simply divide the shaded area by the area of one tile. So similarly, we determine the area of the outer rectangle. 17 times 12, 204. The inner rectangle will be 17 take away 6, which is this 3 and this 3 here, which is 11, and 12 take away 6, which is 6. So 11 times 6 is 66. The area of the square tile is 1 meter squared because the tile is 1 meter by 1 meter. So the number of tiles will be the shaded area divided by the area of one tile. So I didn't go through this. The shaded area is the outer area minus the inner area. Let's take a look at another area tile question. The ones that we looked at previously had tiles where the length of one side of the tile was 1 meter. So this question is different. For this question, we are asked to determine the area between the fence and the pool, which we already have the working for that, so we are going to skip through that. So we determine the area of the outer rectangle, and we already determined the area to be tiled, which is 152 meters squared. So that's this area here that we just spoke about. Now, from the question, we know that the length of one side of the square tile is 2 meters. So we need to determine the area of the tile. So that will be 2 by 2, which is 4 meters squared. And then we must determine how many tiles is needed. So that will be the concerned area, or the area to be tiled, which is 152, divided by the area of one tile. And that will give us how many tiles. So don't get mixed up and divide by 2, which is the side of the tile. We have to divide by the area of the tile.
Thank you for watching. If you have found this video to be helpful, please feel free to contact us for more information about our classes.